Hello everyone, welcome to Wednesday in Tuscany. We are here for round 8 of Ferrari Challenge Europe, and it is the Mugello Circuit here in Tuscany in Italy, which will form the basis for round 8, and not only round 8, the final round of 2025. It will of course play host to the Finali Mondiali World Final races as well. There you can see it between the 21st and the 26th of October, which is where we're at precisely right now. Mugello, the final round of our calendar for 2025. Having been to Monza, Misano, Hockenheim, Brno, Valencia, Barcelona, and of course Spa-Francorchamps around about a month ago in September. Here we are with the cloud cover in Tuscany. We've had lots of rain at the moment. It is not raining, but the track conditions, I would suggest, are still wet. Track temperature 16 degrees, air temperature only 1 degree above that at 17. And there's about 10 kilometers per hour of gusting wind around at the moment. And you can see that the cloud cover is still there or thereabouts as we take a look and give you our formal and official welcome to Mugello. So the track unwinds, as you can see, 5.245 kilometers. There are 14 turns, 15 turns depending on how you count them, 6 left, 8 right. Sector 1 containing 3, Sector 2 containing 6, and Sector 3 containing 5. Very technical circuit where you can ill afford to take your mind off what is facing you, and it's qualifying for our Copa Shell AM drivers that will be getting underway shortly. And we have a lot of them, some 22 will be taking to the track to try and post the best possible time they can from qualifying, which will give them the best possible grid position for their first races across the course of, I'm always tempted to say weekend, but it's not weekend, it's much longer than that, because here we are Wednesday and we're qualifying already. First races to come tomorrow. Delighted to welcome my German broadcasting colleague Oliver Fendel on air with me for a one-off special today. Oliver, welcome. We've known each other for years. We've worked in this industry for years. It's not so often that we get to broadcast together.
Yeah, but when it comes, then it's a great pleasure. Thank you that I can join you, and there we can see one of the contenders for this championship, Sven Schirmer. This is the leading guy, but he is, I can say, nervous like hell. I just come from the paddock.
Yes.
And yeah, we can discuss during the broadcast. The psychological games are already continuing from Monday onwards. I had a long dinner with him on Monday, and it was a real pleasure to see how his main opponent plays with him.
And his main opponent is Sven Schirmer is Jan Sandman, who is also German. I wanted to get there. A haphazard way of doing that, but I did get to it in the end. Yasuhito Fukai from Konoshiba is joining us this weekend. Great to see him. We've just passed his car, Charles Chan. And then the back end of the 115 car, which is the car driven by Shintaro Akatsu, who's had a very, very lively year, has Shintaro. Been on the podium, in fact, did that in the very first race in Monza. And there is the 175 car of Sven Schirmer from Sportwagen Hamburg, the dealer that he represents. And he has had a real up and down season, it has to be said. He's had some successes. Ironically, he's only had 2 wins. He's had lots of podiums, but he's always been scoring points, which has been critical. But Jan Sandman is certainly doing the chasing now. There's the 114 car of Masura Yoneda, another Corner Sosaka driver who's on the grid for this weekend also. And it's very, very good to see him. Now, thing is here, the way the points look at the moment, as we're getting a countdown to the green flag at the end of the pit lane, the point situation is this, and the
it's
points,
quite close.
Well, it'll only be valid, of course, until this qualifying session is done and dusted, because once the qualifying is done, a point is awarded for the pole position. So at the moment, Sven Schirmer goes into this precisely 10 points ahead of Jan Sandman.
And that's the point where he's afraid, because it's worst case today, he loses 2 points already because 2 qualifying will count here in this half an hour, and that's why he's so nervous. And 8 points only is not enough if he gets 2 second places this weekend, and he will lose. And there he is.
Here they are together. Jan Sandman in the 186 car. He's P2 in the Drivers' Championship at the moment. And he is being followed right now by Sven Schirmer, who is P1 in the championship.
Funny moment.
Oh, yes.
When they entered the pit lane.
Yes.
Sven was waiting there 15 minutes.
Yeah.
5 waiting inside the car, engine running, everything. Wanted to start going in this pit lane from the paddock, and exactly in that moment from behind, Jan Sandman came, accelerated, and happily it was less than 30 centimeters, and they would have been crashed into each other already before the first session starts.
We're on board with Sven Schirmer right now. Let me ask a question to you, Oliver. You and I have been involved in this wonderful sport called motor racing for 150 years combined, probably.
Longer.
They talk about psychological battles as well. There is a real psychological battle between Jan Sandman and Sven Schirmer, and in my opinion only, Sven is seemingly under the cosh a bit from Jan in terms of the psychological warfare.
Jan plays the game so tremendously sovereign. It's incredible. He can play like he behaves in professional and real great professional series as well. And one more funny thing this morning, he came with a new hoodie.
Don't even mention it. Don't even mention it.
Jan Sandman came with a hoodie.
So this is an item of clothing.
Yeah. Yeah, a pullover, we said in our youth.
Yes, okay, yeah.
And entered the paddock, sovereign, walking through, nothing that brings it out of the rhythm, as we have it here as well. And on the back, what was there? Guess who's winning?
Question mark.
The question mark? No question mark.
Was there not?
No, 3 points.
Okay.
That's more. And then he just crossed Sven Schirmer.
No, wearing that sweater.
Wearing this sweater. Sven saw this and said, oh, sorry, didn't see that.
Right.
And there you see how the battle...
Oh! Jan has, well avoided by Sven Schirmer. Now that plays into the hands, may I say, of Sven Schirmer.
Exactly. That's the point he wants to have, and now he maybe gets a bit more satisfied because now he is in the leading position.
Here it is. Did he clip the curb here? No, because he was traveling sideways actually before even the apex, before the start of the apex of the turn. And that proves, if nothing else, Oliver, just how treacherous the conditions are out there. Now, it's not raining at the moment, I don't think.
No. It's but it's not drying up because it's not warm enough.
It's not warm enough, there's no wind, or
so,
not to speak of.
And you see the wet surface, and they are struggling. And now Sven has the first purple.
Yep, sector 1, purple.
But we should also, that was something they mentioned, keep an eye on Andrea Levy.
Yeah.
But for the moment, advantage Sven Schirmer.
Okay, so at the end of this lap, it will be the first effective timed lap that we will see. And the Penske Sportwagen Hamburg driver Sven Schirmer choosing to bank a lap early on, which is sometimes sensible because, Oliver, if the rain were to start falling now, of course, the track conditions would alter. So Sven is wise to be able to put a banker in now for Jan Sandman. He's got to go and do it all over again because his lap won't count because, of course, he lost the back end of the car. So here is Sven Schirmer then heading towards breaking the timing beam right now. I'm imagining 2:17 is going to be a time, maybe even 2:18, maybe even 2:19 as he crosses the timing line of 2:19.881. Here comes Jan Sandman with a 2:28.607. That's because, of course, he spent half of the lap sideways.
And now he has to do one more lap. That's the disadvantage for him, to bring the tires back in the position, in the window to work.
And the thing is, every driver that's out there, Shintaro Akatsu goes third fastest, Paolo Scudieri's gone second fastest. All of the cars are out there on wet tyres. And the reason that I mention this is because for wet tyres to work really, really well, Oliver, they need to be kept damp. They need to be kept within this window of dampness that means they operate to their best. If these drivers have to start hunting around for the wettest parts of the track, which means they take an unorthodox line in comparison to what they would ordinarily, it begins to compromise their lap. So there's a lot of drama to play out in the next 24 minutes or so of this qualifying session for Ferrari Challenge Co-Pachel Am. Delighted that you're joining us.
You mentioned that this is just one ingredient. In my opinion, it gets interesting from the point onwards when the total field gets out of the pit lane and tries to catch the best time possible.
Yes.
That's why he is again sliding. And then something happens like it was 2 years ago when we had the Finali Mondiali here as well. Then we will see some cars in gravel, some cars maybe bringing out the red flag.
It's possible.
And then you are in a good position if you have already a purple time on your side.
And that's why we often talk about, in qualifying, putting a banker lap in. If you can put a banker lap in, it may pay dividends for you. Andreas Koenig, the ML Ferrari racing driver, who still mathematically is in the championship chase, to be honest with you, has just gone second fastest. Charles Chan has gone third fastest. A great lap from Alexei Komarov for Scuderia Prague Racing, who, Alexei Komarov, you may recall, had a heart-stopping moment at Spa-Francorchamps last time out, where going into the bus stop chicane, he threaded his car between two others to avoid any contact. Well, he's clearly lost none of his confidence because he's sixth fastest. In replay, this is Jan Sandman.
And this is again the situation where he got sliding, he turns in the right corner, and then you see, now you see a bit sliding, but not in replay, in real motion, you can't
like
see
this.
Yeah, you can see.
And the thing is, whilst for you and I and every motor racing spectator, when you see a car going sideways, it's beautifully entertaining to see just how skillful these drivers are at containing it, but it's slow. It's
slow, but it's also a nice feeling if you are inside and driving the car. But yeah, it definitely compromises your lap time. You see Alvaro Ramos working on the car, not the real fitting balance, I guess.
And look at this, Jan Salmon has just put a purple sector in Sector 1.
That's the answer now.
Yes, that's how he's going to respond. He's going to respond with the best that he can. It's Schirmer from Henrik Kamstrup, then it's Jan Salmon, Charles Chan, Andreas Koenig, and then Yoneda is sixth fastest ahead of Paolo Scudieri, Andrea Levy, then Maurizio Pittori, and Alexei Komarov is 10th fastest at the moment.
Yeah, and one more purple sector, 1 second faster in total so far compared to Sven Schirmer. Yeah, and you see, that's the second lap after turning around, and the tire is working perfectly. Now we will see what the car in front.
And that's Pino Frascaro
See.
in the 140 car. Now, no driver is out there, and no driver is going to be out there deliberately hampering anybody's efforts.
That's too much.
But Oliver, you cannot help. If your car is out there, you can't make it disappear into thin air. But Pino did a good job of
Pino did it perfectly. He tried to avoid any standing in the way. But yeah, we know this corner. It's 108.
Whoa! He's gone fastest, but by a huge margin, Oliver, by a full second.
Also, he was braking behind Pino Frascaro. That shows what's possible in the last sector. And obviously, Sven, because of the overtaking, lost there as well some time. That's getting interesting because the last sector will make the difference, and the traffic as well.
So it's currently Jan Sandman ahead of Sven Schirmer and Henrik Kamstrup.
So now we see Pino Frascaro trying to accelerate to improve his lap time. Yeah, and compared to the two fastest, will not be on this level, but still managing very, very well under these conditions. It's not easy. Not easy to have the 700 horsepowers under control.
And this track demands a lot. It's a very technical circuit. Now, by technical, for those of you that are maybe new to motor racing and you've happened upon us by accident, we're delighted that you're with us. Allow us to try and explain. Yes, welcome. By a technical circuit, we mean there are some circuits that contain kind of lots of straights and just 2 or 3 corners. It's not the case here in Mugello, is it? You've got lots of turns. You have also got lots of topography.
Yeah,
you know,
you have enormous elevation.
Elevation changes.
And not surface changes, but it's not easy to drive around here because the surface is not even. You have it also with some turning on the tarmac. Here you can see how much it...
Oh, forgive me interrupting you.
Schirmer.
Schirmer has just gone quickest by 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, that's the point we mentioned. And split time.
Oh.
And that's the split time at the end of the day. Wow, it's tremendous. They have...
This is going to be terribly exciting, isn't it?
Yeah. They are so close together that now it's just 2 tenths. And at the end of the day, in the morning, where they had a practice session, they were separated by
2
1.
tenths.
No. They just had 14 hundredths.
14 100ths was what split Sven Schirmer and Jan Sandman this morning.
Yeah.
Well, Henrik Kamstrup's taken an orthodox line into that chicane, but he's kept it all together in the 113 car. Henrik Kamstrup, another driver that's had a really, really good season. He's currently running P4 at the moment. This isn't all about Sven Schirmer and Jan Sandman,
no.
Although inevitably that is going to be the focus of a lot of our attention because there are points up for grabs in this qualifying session as Yoneda, who makes his debut in the Ferrari Challenge Europe this weekend, has gone 3rd fastest. Now, dare I say it, coming from the Japan Series, where, you know, Oliver and I have been to Fuji, we know where the conditions can be very what we have here in Mugello as well. Can I throw a curved ball in here, Oliver?
Try.
We've got 16.5 minutes remaining.
Yeah.
Now, we're seeing on a couple of shots as a new set of wet weather tyres will be going on to the Sven Schirmer car. I can see from one of our cameras feeds into our studio, which you can't see, but we have new wet weather tyres going on the Sven Schirmer car.
Interesting.
This is still too wet for anyone to take a gamble on slicks, isn't it?
Definitely it is. I'm a bit surprised that they already changed now. Maybe he will stay in pit lane for another 2 or 3 minutes, because if he now goes too early out,
yeah,
the conditions dry up at the end.
You'll just strip those tyres, won't you?
This is the one thing, and maybe you don't have the time again to bring some fast lap again, and that's also no advantage when you bring yourself into the pressure. And here,
this was Henrik's unorthodox line.
That's a little bit outside the track.
Many of our Ferrari Challenge drivers have the benefits of driver coaching, and Sven Schirmer, who's actually making his way out on track right now, he has 2 driver coaches, Andrea Gagliardini and Max Blancardi, both of whom know how to pedal a racing car, and are both extraordinarily... There's a real juxtaposition in terms of characters. Sven Schirmer is quite a subdued, calm character, until things don't go his way, when he can be quite grumpy. I think it's fair, and I think he would accept that. His driver coach is Max Blancardi and Andrea Gagliardini, are both extraordinarily enigmatic, enthusiastic Italian racing drivers who wear their heart on their sleeves. Compare that to Jan Sandman, who has Charlie Hollings as his driver coach, who could not be any more relaxed if he was laying down, but utterly ruthless. I mean, and another extraordinarily talented driver, as Jan Sandman is going very, very quickly on this lap. You can see he's done purple sector 1, purple sector 2. He's got traffic ahead of him. That's the Shintaro Akatsu car, I believe. And is that going to hamper Jan Sandman's efforts here? I think it might just.
Now he gets flashes in the back, and
Shintaro gets out of the way, doesn't he? As best he can.
But it was half a second too long for Jan Sandman. We will see what it means at the end of this sector. It's again sector 3 improving, and he had 1 second already collected, and now he's back.
He's done it. He's done it. Oliver, game on again.
So and now we have the situation. Each of the two has set a fast lap. Jan for race 1, and it is Sven Schirmer for maybe I guess it's for enough for race 2, but we will see at the end of this session.
So at the moment, one apiece, we're thinking, aren't we? So just to explain, the fastest lap time sets the grid for race 1, Oliver.
Yeah.
Second fastest lap time sets the grid for race 2.
Exactly.
Thank you. Paolo Scudieri in replay. We can see here, driver of the 101 car, who's currently 7th fastest. And Paolo is another very, very good racing driver, that's for sure. He's being chased here by the pale blue colours you can see right behind. As we go back to Jan Sandman in the 186 car, who's currently leading this, and he's now put another purple sector in sector 1. So Sven Schirmer is going to need to respond here. Now, Sven Schirmer has just come out with fresher wet weather tyres on, which should give him a little bit of an advantage, I would have thought. But we're not seeing it in terms of lap time just yet.
Yeah, I think he's on his warm-up lap still.
I agree with that. He's still getting them into the temperature window.
Now it counts. Sector 1 was not that good. 0.6 slower compared to Jan Sandman,
who we're watching right now, who's about to conclude another lap. He's got this chicane to do, then the final turn. So we're on focus with Jan Sandman for Kessel Racing right now. And
both coaches of Sven getting a bit nervous.
Yes, we can see from our feed into the studio that yes, we've got one of our what's called one of our RF cameras looking at the driver coaches for Sven Schirmer, Max Blancardi and Andrea Gagliardini, as here comes Jan Sandman to break out another fastest lap potentially. Well, only 9/100ths quicker, but still quicker than his last iteration.
And this means
he's 1.5 seconds quicker.
He's twice quicker than Sven.
Which means that gives him both pole positions for the 2 races.
See.
11 minutes remaining. Max Blancardi, I could see from my feed into the studio, and Andrea Gagliardini are looking up to the skies. They're hoping, I think, for a bit of rain, maybe, Oliver.
Yeah, but I think that's not the case in the next 15 minutes. So we have 10 minutes running down in this qualifying session, and in my opinion, and my guess is that it won't be raining again. Also here the wipers are active.
That was a scary moment for Charles Chan there. Yeah. Just lost the back end of the car, but held on to it in the end.
And here you see the change of tarmac and surface. What I meant before, that's also not friendly to you when you try to get a feeling for your car on high speed.
And that was also why I was wondering, and I posed the question, as we have a yellow flag at turn 1, someone off at turn 1, well, only momentarily because that yellow flag has been lifted. That's the reason I mentioned, because when you look from the screen and from our cameras at the track surface and the discoloration, whether parts of the track were just drying up enough, but quite clearly not. Wet weather tyres are still the tyres to be on. Now, this is Sven Schirmer we ride on board with. You listen to that gravel. I'm questioning whether it was Sven Schirmer that went off in turn 1, which gave us that brief yellow flag, whether he just dipped some wheels.
Let's check the sector 1 time, and it is the case.
53.697. That's 8 seconds down, isn't it?
Welcome to psychological. Oh, the rain is coming back in sector 2. I'm totally wrong, but this is really surprising. It was not expected.
So the noise that you could hear there, and there is Andrea Gagliardini or Max Bancardi looking at the Sven Schirmer car from their feed. Rain is about to arrive here in Mugello, according to our satellites. And Sven Schirmer, we think, dipped his wheels into the gravel through turn 1.
And the forecast says normally the rain is coming in 12 minutes from now on. But the reality shows that it is quite faster.
Now Sven is not up to speed at all. He is really nursing this car back. I wonder if something has happened. There is Andrea Gagliardini and Max Bancardi, the 2 driver coaches for Sven Schirmer.
And they're getting nervous.
Jan Sandman.
Already inside. Not necessary to go out again.
No, he doesn't need to, does he?
Normally, if you play the game...
Mrs. Schirmer.
See.
Do you know Mrs. Schirmer's Christian name? Do you know Mrs. Schirmer? No. Okay, it wasn't a loaded question. It was just... I hate being so formal, but actually... Here comes Sven. He wasn't going slowly. He was going slowly. He was going slowly to build up to this lap, Oliver.
Yeah, but 20 seconds slower than... Yeah, we will see. He tried, maybe he lost the car a bit in the first sector, and then he used the lap to get temperature in the tires to now perform. We will see what happens when the first sector time is shown to us. And now the game gets interesting. Henrik Amstrup.
Henrik Amstrup, driver of the 113 car, has gone second fastest, a 2:14.931.
Yeah.
So, all of a sudden, Sven Schirmer is relegated to P3, which would mean a second row start in race 1.
Directly behind Jan Sandman. And then, maybe, there is the magic moment where the brake is not working so intensive. Sorry, but just was thinking about something I experienced. What I wanted to say before about Jan Sandman, because of his 2 fast laps. He's already gone out on his out lap now. But
why? Why is he going out again, Oliver?
That's something I do not understand. If he would play the game.
Oliver, cumulative time. Sven Schirmer is 8.5 tenths quicker than anybody else.
It's crazy. It's really crazy what happens here. Yeah?
Hold on to your hats. Hold on to any other form of loose clothing you might have about you. This could be a humdinger of a lap from Sven Schirmer for Penske Sportwagen Hamburg.
But
he's got traffic ahead of him. They keep right out of the way. Sven Schirmer will dial to the inside now and accelerate as quickly as he can, getting past the Louis Perousquia car as he will head towards the timing beam now. It's P4 for Sven Schirmer. But hold on to this, because as he heads and breaks the timing beam, Sven Schirmer goes P1 with a 2:12.824.
And that's the answer why Jan Sandman again is out on the track, and it's incredible. It's a really incredible game, and fantastic to see how we are proven wrong, or I'm proven wrong.
No, we both are. I mean, if it had been down to you and me, if we'd have been Jan Sandman, we'd have been parked up having a cappuccino.
Definitely, and that's what I tried the 4th time. Hopefully nothing happens again. If he plays the psychological game very well, he would have done this. But
this is
the
amazing.
reality...
Here comes Jan Sandman now.
not enough.
Not enough.
But it's warming up lap.
But Jan Salmon now, he knows he's got this lap plus maybe 2 more. No, maybe only 1 more after this one. So there is the back end of Charlie Hollings, who is the driver coach to Jan Salmon for Kessel Racing. We've been featuring the driver coaches for Sven Schirmer. That's Andrea Gagliardini and Max Blancardi. But now there is Charlie with the headphones on. Now, Charlie is a fine racing driver. So too Blancardi and Gagliardini. They're very, very different in terms of character traits. But both are, or all 3 are, hugely dynamic racing drivers, as Jan Salmon in Sector 1 is nearly a second quicker, Oliver. This is one of the most entertaining quali sessions we've had for a long time.
Absolutely speechless about this. And it will not be the end, because there's to expect that Sven will get out and set 1 more time.
Salmon's got traffic.
Yeah. You keep on, Jan. I will keep an eye on the times of Sven Schirmer. Otherwise,
like
we have no
inviting a German guest in here and he tells you what to do.
Yeah.
I loving this, absolutely loving this qualifying session. This is Jan Salmon then for Kessel Racing. I'm beginning to wonder whether we're seeing a bit more drizzle come down right now. The Kessel Racing driver Jan Salmon is currently in deficit to Sven Schirmer by exactly 1 second and 7/1000ths. His Sector 2 was compromised. So Sector 2, a 42.962. That's nearly a full second out of the Jan Salmon car.
9/10. It means maybe that they will be equal in the end of the time at the end of this lap. But we will see what happens. Now it's time for Sven Schirmer to start again 1 more lap. And it was not enough. Sector 1, nearly exactly 1 second slower.
Salmon has brought it to 2.5 100ths.
That's what I said, that they will, with this loss of time in Sector 2, that's exactly what they get as a result, that they will be on an equal time. And
this is, you know, again, just having to use a little bit of opposite lock to control the car, that's enough to cost you some 1,000ths or 100ths. And that perhaps is what's done for Jan Salmon on that occasion. We have less than 2 minutes of qualifying remaining.
And that's the exact time where Sven could be in an advantage, because Jan is not able to bring 1 more lap after his cool-down lap. Now we see the Penske Sportwagen Hamburg driver not with a good first sector, with a solid but not perfect second sector. And now, it's also not enough, but he can take his time to cool down, to accelerate.
He can do another lap, can't he?
Exactly. Now he's turning in this last corner, and now he has to accelerate full focus on this last lap.
And this will be his last lap.
Yeah.
You will forgive us, but we have been focusing on both Sven Schirmer and Jan Salmon because, of course, in terms of the championship chase, it's the battle that you would expect us to focus on. What I do want to say, with just 55 seconds, make that 53 seconds remaining in this qualifying session, is a huge shout out to all our Copa Am drivers in this qualifying session, all 22 of them, because the entire 30 minutes of qualifying has been really, really compelling. And we've seen so few yellow flags. It's extraordinary. Great driving from all of our competitors in Ferrari Challenge Copa Am. Here is Jan Salmon then, rounding the final turn, trying to get a bit of a slingshot here as you climb uphill on 2 occasions when you head towards the start-finish line. Jan Salmon breaks the timing beam now, has not improved. This is his last possible opportunity to do so. He's got Fritz Muller ahead of him. Here is the Yaneda car that has been really impressive. Masaru Yaneda has been doing a great job in qualifying. He's currently 3rd fastest.
Yeah, that's also impressive from him. It's also to mention that Henrik Kamstrup, with his 4th fastest time, did a really good job. Alexei Kamarov as well, but the focus, of course, is on Jan Sandmann and Sven Schirmer. And Jan Sandmann managed it to get, with 8 seconds remaining, to do his last lap. And it's all up to them, or to him, maybe, because Sven Schirmer is not able to bring some purple sectors out now.
So,
and it's raining.
Is it? Thank you to my meteorological expert from Munich in Germany. He has been able to check out the weather, and it is now raining. So Yoneda crosses the timing line.
The expert just turned around and saw the reality in the back.
Okay, thought you were using some real technical marvel.
He opened his eyes and everything he saw was rain.
Oh, heavens. You have really shattered the illusion that everyone had of just how technical we are. Sven Schirmer crosses the timing line and does not improve.
Well done at the moment.
Well done at the moment from Andrea Gagliardini. And, well, it's just Jan Sandmann. How's his sector times looking?
Not good.
Okay.
Losing 3 seconds in the second sector. So everything fine for the moment for him.
Well, so we go back to the discussion we were having with regards to psychology and who's winning that little battle at the moment. You have to say that Sven Schirmer has delivered.
And this is the first surprise for this. You have to go to the stewards, the managers of car number 150. It's not relevant for
and that
the
will be
pole
Alvaro
position.
Ramos.
See. But it's the first surprise to me, to be honest, because I saw Sven the last 3 days so nervous, like any moment before in this season, and he got it.
He's done it.
Yeah.
And has he, so from our calculations then, has he got the fastest lap and the second fastest lap, Oliver? Pay attention, would you?
The former
stuff to his social media feed.
No, that's the former champion who's writing.
Axel Sardingen, we miss you, friend. We miss you, Axel.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh, bless.
That's why he was asking what happened here. We saw it on screen, the second fastest. Yeah, that's the point. I guess I cannot see it here on my screen so far.
Lots of congratulations to the Schirmer family down there.
Yeah, the manager of the the Ferrari Penske Hamburg team. Yeah, that's Penske is everywhere. That's my fault in every session.
What a great job done. And here comes confirmation. We could see Danilo Del Favro down there offering congratulations as well. So Sven Schirmer, 2:12.769, ahead of Jan Sandmann and Masaru Yoneda. Then it was Paolo Scudieri, Henrik Kamstrup, Alexei Komarov. What a great qualifying, Alexei. Well done. Andrea Levy, then Charles Chan ahead of Fritz Müller, Boris Gideon, Norikatsu Shibata, Shintaro Akatsu, Guy Favre, Andreas Koenig, very quiet by his own standards, Maurizio Pittori. Then it was Hassan Debussy, Dr. Stephen Earle, Alex Fox from the Japan Series, Yasuhito Fuki, then Louis Peruskia, Pino Frascaro, Alvaro Ramos, then rounding out our 22 competitors in Ferrari Challenge Copa Am. There is our Penske Sportwagen Hamburg driver that has done P1 from Oliver Fendel and from myself. Thank you for watching what was a superb qualifying for Copa Am. Bye-bye for now. Welcome back to Mugello, and welcome back to Ferrari Challenge qualifying for our final round of 2025. It is round 8. And having been to Monza, to Misano, to Hockenheim, Brno, Valencia, Barcelona, Spa-Francorchamps, as you can see, this is round 8, the final round of our 2025 European calendar. Of course, it also is a Finali Mondiali event here at Mugello as well, but the Finali Mondiali races will come on Sunday. Before then, there is a small matter of the championship to be sorted. Hello, Mr. Magpie. 1, 2, 3. 16 degrees, the track temperature. Air temperature is 17 degrees. The wind is gusting at around 10 kilometers per hour at the moment. It's been fairly wet all day, drizzly and damp, and that remains the case right now. Here is the Mugello Circuit then, and it's a firm favourite of our drivers because it offers a real test for them in their wonderful Ferrari Challenge 296 cars. And the track contains, depending on how you count them, we count them as 14 turns, 6 left, and 8 of them are right-handers. Sector 1 has 3, Sector 2 with 6, and Sector 3 has 5 turns. If you're interested, we're just under an hour from Florence, about an hour and 10 from Bologna. So the drivers we'll see in quali are on the screen for you right now. Motohiko Isasaki, Ernst Kirchmeier, Ray Acosta, Michael Martin, James Wyland, Oscar Rinčević, Christian Kinch, Tibor Valint and John Dillon and Thomas Gostner, Fabrizio Fontana, Corinna Gostner, von Skeltermar, Willem van der Vorm and Manu Gostner as well. Those are the drivers that will be taking part in this qualifying session for Copa Shell. And it's going to be Oscar Rinčević, I believe, that is going to be the first of the drivers to show. There he goes in his all-black car, followed by Manu Gostner. And then it is Motohiko Isasaki, Fabrizio Fontana, Willem van der Vorm, John Dillon, Ray Acosta there. And are you impressed that I could tell from just as the cars were leaving the pit lane, just from the smallest glimpse of their colour schemes, that I was able to ID who the drivers were. It's many, many years of studying these phenomenal drivers and this fantastic series that has enabled me to have that ability to so do, as Fabrizio Fontana gets ahead of Motohiko Isasaki going through turn number 1 and climbing uphill. Delighted to have alongside me our another broadcaster of fine repute, and that is Oliver Fendel, who spends his time broadcasting to our German broadcasters, but finds himself without a duty today, and therefore he's joining me on the air, which is, we've known each other for a lot of years, we've worked together on lots and lots of championships, but none better than the Ferrari Challenge, which is where we find ourselves together right now, and it does afford us the rare opportunity, Oliver, to be on air at the same time.
I have to say thank you, grazie mille, as we say here in Italy, and it's a real pleasure, and it's impressive to see how you just need 3 or 4 centimeters of the car to explore who's inside the car. It's there I see what I have to learn the next 10 years, and then
far from it, friend.
But this is the car we all together would also in sleeping moments will recognize, as well as this von Skeltermar at first, and Manu Gostner, not only Gostner anymore, because there was a marriage. Now she married the team principal and her personal driving coach, and it's one person, just to clarify.
Giorgio Senagiotta, who you can see there with the beige jacket on, and he's got big hair, hasn't he? He's a great driver, a great character as well. So here is Manu Gostner then, driver of the 193 car. Now, Manu Gostner is leading this championship, Oliver, on 125 points. That will change at the end of this qualifying session, because 2 points will be awarded in this qualifying session. 1 is for the fastest lap and 1 is for the second fastest lap. Whoever sets the fastest lap and the second fastest lap, they will each get a point, because those pole positions will apply for their starting position for race 1 and race 2 respectively. So 125 points over the 98 of John Dillon. And then it's this man, Oscar Rinčević, for Kessel Racing, who's third in the Drivers' Championship. which is hugely meritorious when you consider that Oscar was not able to do the Misano round at all, and therefore didn't bank any points.
Oh. Fighting already here on track. In my opinion, we see compared to the Coppa Shell M, it's just a fight between the first two, John Dillon and Manu Gostner, and it will be really interesting because Oscar Rinčević does not care, in my opinion, how they will perform. He wants to be on top in not only the qualifying sessions, also he wants to be the winner of both races. That's why if he could be the little stick between both.
Well, in my opinion, and I hope I've done my calculations correctly, with 15 points up for grabs for a race win, that means there's 30 points across the two races available. There is an additional point for pole position and an additional point for the fastest lap in the race. So if my calculations are correct, there is a maximum available of 34 points, Oliver.
Yeah.
And at the moment, it's 125 playing 98, playing 96. So Oscar is still in it mathematically.
Yellow. First yellow in this session, sorry to interrupt you.
Double yellow at turns 8 and 9, which a double waved yellow would suggest that perhaps someone is off in turns 8 and 9. So
Arrabbiata 1 and 2, that's the session, the sector uphill, and now it's clarified.
yes, that's been relinquished now, so we can continue, which is what's happening right now with Oscar Rinčević chasing down the Corinna Gostner car as Oscar Rinčević is about to break the timing beam and sets our first benchmark time of 2:19.392. 2:19.392. So that's what the target will be of Manuela Gostner and John Dillon and the likes. Willem van der Vorm has gone second fastest. John Dillon has now gone quicker than anyone with a 2:17.541. JD then 2:17.541. Early on has set the fastest lap so far because only 5.5 minutes of the qualifying session has gone. We expect to see a sequence of fastest laps, and then it plateaus out a bit as drivers, well, you can see, get involved in lots and lots of traffic, which is where John is at the moment. He's got Willem van der Vorm, and I think it's Fabrizio Fontana ahead. And John just bailing out of this lap now, knowing that there's nowhere that he can really go. You can see him flashing his lights here, but this has properly compromised JD's lap. So to the inside of Fabrizio Fontana, it's just probably not worth the risk. So JD ahead of Oscar Rinčević, Fabrizio Fontana, then Willem van der Vorm, von Skeltermar, Tibor Valent, Michael Martin, Ernst Kirkmeyer, Ray Acosta, Motohiko Isasaki. Welcome back, Motohiko. Then it's Thomas Gostner ahead of Manuela Gostner. And I think that it might have been Manuela Gostner off on that wave double yellow because her time was a 3:05.879.
And some info from the Meteo, from the weather radar. We see now the cars out will be in a good position because the rain will increase the next 20 minutes, and then it's getting much more difficult to set a faster lap. So that the strategy must be to set everything now.
Bank one early on. That's what John Dillon has done with a 2:17.541. Oscar Rinčević has got to find 1.851 seconds. Fabrizio Fontana's got to find 2.379. That's to just stay on the same terms. Ernst Kirkmeyer, though, he's done a quickest sector 1 and a personal best through sector 2. So he's looking lively here, and he is coming up on the back of our current lap time leader, I should say, John Dillon. So they round the final turn. It's slightly banked around the final turn. You can use it as something of a slingshot because you climb uphill on 2 occasions on the start-finish straight. As John Dillon has broken the timing beam now, and Kirchmeier has gone 1.7 seconds quicker.
Yeah,
Oliver.
That's exactly the point where the Kessel Racing driver, as well as the Formula Racing driver, wants to be. 3 Kessel Racing under the top 4 at the moment. Now the pressure is on Manu Gosner, that she will set her lap time as well. One is taken out because of the double yellow infringement. So let's see what happens. And it's also necessary not wanting too much, because the slippery conditions bring you really, really fast into the gravel, and then it's over.
You can't afford to bin the car, can you?
Yeah.
Fabrizio Cristani, we could see watching on just momentarily. So Manu Gosner then doing the chasing right now. We should mention that Ernst Kirchmayr is coached by former Trofeo Pirelli champion Giacomo Altoe, who is a jolly good coach, that's for sure. And Ernst is, to be fair, a jolly good driver. And
Ernst is in racing momentum, because he's not racing at the moment only in the Ferrari Challenge. He did in the last 2 Arak GT Masters weekend as well. And with his age, he's so performing well, then he's not only here in the top 2, he's also in the GT Masters under the top 5.
So he is getting a lot of racing action in. Here's John Dillon then. He's got Corinna Gosner ahead. JD had gone sector 1 purple, so he'd responded to Ernst Kirchmayr, but now finds himself in track. Dives to the inside of Corinna Gosner. His sector 2 was off the pace marginally. It was tenths off the pace of where he needs it to be. Will he have made up enough in the final sector to put himself back into contention for the additional points? Well, he crosses the timing line and he has gone. Well, he's improved 2 places, so he's gone back to P2. He had lost that P2 position to both Ernst Kirchmayr and Fabrizio Fontana, but he goes back to P2. Here is John Dillon, then driver of the 151 car.
And now we have the old one, the man of Ferrari Challenge, von Skeltema.
The shark's teeth have bit.
And then you see when the shark feels comfortable in wet conditions.
So here is our current pole sitter then, von Skeltema, driver of the 177 car. To be fair, Mugello is to his liking. He likes Mugello. He's raced here so many times. I'd go so far as to say he's probably done more laps of Mugello than a lot of the drivers that are on the grid for our Ferrari Challenge Copa Shell drivers. And he is a full second quicker than Oscar Rinčević and a full second and a half quicker than John Dillon. So von Skeltema doing a good job here. He's got Ray Acosta ahead of him now, which might just compromise this lap. I know you're checking out the meteorological forecast once again, Oliver Fendel alongside me here, keeping us across the weather conditions, as John Dillon has gone fastest in Sector 1. So Sector 1 time from John Dillon, a 45.246, is significantly quicker than anybody else thus far. So John Dillon accelerates. The elevation changes here at Mugello are dramatic. Sector 2, quicker than anyone. John Dillon's on a charge here. The driver that is P2 in the Drivers' Championship, the back end of the car letting go just a little bit. He controls it beautifully. He has the likes of Matt Griffin and Sean Doyle that engineer him. And Matt Griffin on duty this weekend, having just been racing himself only last weekend. So John Dillon with one turn to do. Try and keep it out of the paint if you can, John. And he has managed to do that as he accelerates now. The rain intensifies a little bit. Is this going to be enough to take John back to P1 as he's about to break the timing beam now? John Dillon goes P1 by 1.5 100ths.
That's impressive.
I think it would have been more than that if he hadn't got out onto the paint through the final turn.
Yeah, definitely will be. He's there on the edge already in the last corner, but it's impressive that under these conditions, and you mentioned that the rain is increasing and getting intensive, that they are still able to improve. Now they see and discuss, I guess, at the commando stands, and there you see Ray Acosta adjusting his tire pressure. Yeah, we will see what's possible, because we are now closer to the rain top moment, and then it's decreasing in the last 7 to 8 minutes. What's necessary when you go out for your last fast lap.
And this young lady, Manuela Gosner, who's leading in the championship at the moment.
As far away from...
There's Giorgio. Would like to listen into this, but it's Italian. Hopefully Franco, my director, is listening in and he's going to give me the translation. We've got a red flag. We've got a red flag. I've just seen it pop up on my timing screen. Oliver, we've got a red flag.
I tried to interpret the Manuela situation. I think she... Oh, there we have the 161.
That's Thomas Gosner.
And he's not doing a favor for his daughter.
No, not doing a favor for Manuela. And my director, Franco, has just come on and said, sorry, Dave, I didn't understand one word that was said, so I missed it. Thank you for your honesty, Franco. So this is the reason for the red flag. And the reason is Thomas Gosner is beached in the gravel. That car has got to be recovered. And that's why we have this red flag with 16.5 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. The clock has stopped.
That's the positive thing, because it's not running away the time for Manuela. But I get the feeling that she's not confident enough. A bit afraid with the conditions. That's something I guess what so far I hear and saw from her husband now, from her driver coach, Giorgio, and that's maybe the reason why she's at the moment not in the position to fight for a top position. She's just on P11 for the moment. Fabrizio Fontana we saw here, and now we have the short time leader, the Sharky, the 177 car, and I think he can be really satisfied so far.
And do you know what? Fons is only, we're talking about a 100th difference between himself and John Dillon. So great showing from Fons Skelterma, the Kessel driver, and very, very long-standing campaigner in the Ferrari Challenge. And
he was already here when I started the first time with Ferrari, and it was 2012.
There is Jan Sandman, another Kessel driver who's racing in Copichel Am, offering his words of advice to Fons Skelterma as we allow you to look at some of the images as we play some music for you. With the music playing out and some of our images being shown, you can see on screen in graphics that the session is going to restart at 16:13. So 16:13 is the session restart time, and that is exactly 1 minute and 6 seconds from now. As the session was red flagged, it was John Dillon that was leading from Fons Skelterma and Fabrizio Fontana, Oscar Rinčević, Ernst Kirchmeier, Thibaut Valent and Ray Acosta. Then it was our points championship leader, Manuela Gosner, ahead of Michael Martin. Then Willem van der Vorm, Thomas Gosner, who was the cause of the red flag by losing it in turn one. Then Motohiko Isasaki ahead of Corinna Gosner. And interestingly, times not yet been set by James Violent or Christian Kinch. So this qualifying session with the full time remaining of 16 minutes and 21 seconds is going to restart in exactly 15 seconds from now. So we await the green flag and the green lights, which will show in 4, 3, 2, 1 now. There you go, bang on time as Manuel Agostina. Do you know what, Oliver Fendel?
No,
You and I have worked together a lot, but not on air at the same time. And I think what we were just saying off the air, I agree with you in that Manu doesn't look quite as comfortable in these conditions as some of the other drivers from our Copa contingent. And, you know, when you've got to overcome a barrier of not feeling the confidence, that's a big ask, isn't it?
That's here at a track like this a real problem. You need to be more than confident. You have these 2 first corners there, and I know what I'm talking about in Luco and Portuguesejo. I did my driving license here as well, and this was the crucial point when you not get through these corners in style, then you are thinking about the whole lap.
Right.
And you try not to do it 100%, and this sums up in the end of the lap, and you get not only 1 second, you get 2 seconds too slow, and that's something I guess, and I have the feeling Manu has at the moment as a problem. And the reason for it is the rain.
Ray Acosta on his way out then, driving the 107 car. Now, Ray Acosta is one of our drivers from not only Ferrari Challenge in Europe, but also Ferrari Challenge in North America as well. And
we are welcome here in Mugello as well.
It was great to see his buddy Custodio Toledo is also here. Custodio having been doing a good job in the States racing as well, but not in the Ferrari Challenge. But good to see Custodio again. Here's John Dillon then. Very interestingly, John was held in the pit lane and in his garage for a bit longer than everybody else. Clever, because what that means is he's got out now, and the thing is, Oliver, he's going to have relatively clear track in front of him.
Yep.
And that means he's not going to suffer from the likes of the spray coming off the back of the Oscar Rinčević car. So from a visibility point of view, to not have a car in front of you is hugely advantageous.
Definitely, this is one advantage you need to have, and you see how intensified the rain comes down, and then you see the spray behind him. Also, there are 200 meters between them, and you feel it, and then you know what we are talking about. Now the braking zone is interesting because the water gets more and more standing there.
Oh, and Oscar is really struggling to control that. Unlike you, I've not taken my race license here at Mugello, but I have been
It's years ago.
All right. I have been a passenger on the a Ferrari Challenge car around Mugello with none other than Christian Colombo taking me for a hot lap around Mugello, and I have to say it was really, really enjoyable. And in truth, Oliver, and I hope you'd agree with this, until you actually are out on the track, you don't really experience or fully appreciate the elevation changes that are here at this particular track.
Yeah, definitely, that's the case, and the pictures on the screen cannot bring it to you. Just this view, what we have here, there is so much elevation and so much difference in the high from this point of the track down to the straight, and then you have above the hospitality where the drivers have their lunch, and this is a gap, I've guessed, from 25 meters, and it's everywhere around the track. There's no real straight line that's on one level.
No, I think I would agree with you. So, Oscar Rinčević we're watching right now. He's currently 4th fastest. Now, Oscar Rinčević, I made mention of the fact that he hasn't done an entire campaign this year, but he's had fair results, that's for sure. He missed out on the round at Brno for very good reasons, to be fair. But he's taken 2 wins and, if my memory serves me, 4 P2s in the course of the season that he's had. So he's banked really important points. And what that proves is, critically, that if you can be relatively consistent, Oliver, and continually bank very, very good points, that can still put you in a good position with regards to a driver's championship. And that's what he's done as he crosses the timing line now and stays 4th fastest, does not improve. And someone that has improved is von Skelterma, who has now gone 3rd fastest. Now, car number 105, which is the Motohiko Isosaki car, is going to receive the meatball flag, as this is Manu Gosner.
And this is the one more proof what our feeling is.
Is Motohiko Isosaki, and this is why he's going to see the meatball flag, and that is because a piece of his car is probably wobbling about a bit now as a consequence of that coming together. I just wonder whether Manu Gosner appeared to only glance the barriers. She'd scrubbed a lot of speed, but there is the meatball flag, so called because it looks like our lunch, to be honest.
And it's interesting. In Germany, we name it the fried egg.
Well, I never. Well, in the UK, it's meatball.
It's much more easy.
Okay.
But it's not veggie.
No. So that being shown, basically what that means is that there is an element of your car that is defective.
And it's relevant to recognize this, because if a part of your car is not there where it should be, then it's a real risk that you lose it and the other one gets it in his car or on his tire.
Whilst we've been talking about that, Ernst Kirchmayr has gone quicker than anybody with a 2:15.062, so 4 tenths, nearly 5 tenths quicker than John Dillon. So Kirchmayr from Dillon from Skeltermar, the top 3 in our Copa Shell qualifying at the moment. Manu Gosner and Motohiko Isosaki have both found the barriers. The rain is coming down really heavily now, and that is impacting and affecting the driver's visibility and also the grip that is available to them out there on the Mugello Circuit for this qualifying session. Ferrari Challenge, you join us here on a Wednesday. As yes, the action on track is on already on a Wednesday. And through the speed camera goes Ernst Kirchmayr, the speed camera brought to you in association with Faye. And the speed is nothing like the speed that we would experience if we had dry conditions. In replay, you can see here Ernst Kirchmayr and these Pirelli wet weather tyres. I haven't got the actual figures to hand, but the amount of water they are able to dissipate over the course of a second is remarkable. It's litres and litres and litres of water that they chuck out, as Giacomo Altoe.
What I have in mind is for the Pirelli Formula red tire, it's 70 liters each tire.
Good grief. That's amazing, isn't it?
I mean, you cannot imagine how 70 liters will be, how much it is.
This is the 109 car of Mikael Martin, who's in strife and is going out, the Maranello Motors driver. And it's Kirchmayr from Dillon from Skeltermar at the moment.
And one interesting thing is the time of Ernst Kirchmayr now, with the 2:15 under these conditions, is just 1.3 seconds slower compared to his best practice time in the morning under nearly dry conditions.
Right. Now this is Manuel Gosner, who, despite the off and the glancing of the barriers, you can see no damage to speak of to the front of her beautiful 296 Challenge car. So she goes to try and set a lap that will be better than the P8 where she's sitting at the moment. And I have to say, with 7.5 minutes remaining, I really get the impression that Manuela is kind of tiptoeing. Sounds really, really wrong, but she's not really pushing that car around this track, in my opinion. We know how quick Manu can be. And the reason for that is she's leading the Drivers' Championship points, and leading the Drivers' Championship points because of ability. A brilliant, brilliant driver. Talking of brilliant drivers, 2 drivers have yet to put a lap in, and I'm not sure we're going to see laps from the likes of James Wyland and Christian Kinch. Now, I know Christian Kinch had an off in a free practice session. I'm not sure about James Wyland, the Rosso Corsa racer, who long-time racer, of course, in both the USA, in our Ferrari Challenge North America, but also here in Europe, and has raced also in Japan. Very well-travelled Ferrari Challenge racer. So from the gloom and the mist, you can see the Manuel Agostino car then ride the crest of the hill. It's like riding the crest of a wave at the moment. There is so much water out there, and Manu then trying to navigate, and navigate appears to be the right expression for around the weather conditions that we have right now.
And you see on the side pipes where the water getting out of the car. It's all the water just putting in the front, and then through the pipes it's getting under the floor and then
evacuated.
Yes. Yeah, the right one evacuated at the side pipes, and it helps to get stability in these conditions. And now you see that it not makes sense to stay so long out, because you will not improve. For her, I guess it's important to get self-confidence.
Of course. If we were to close the session now, Oliver, I want to paint this picture. Fastest lap from this qualifying session is going to be the pole position for race 1. Second fastest lap is going to be pole position for race 2. At the moment, taking a look at race 1, John Dillon, who is P2 in the Drivers' Championship, will be starting on the front row. As von Skeltermar explores the limit of adhesion and
also explores the gravel, how deep it is.
Yes, but look, this is where Fons is very clever. He keeps his foot in, gets it away from the gravel, and gets onto the grass and is able to return out on track, thus avoiding another stoppage. Well done, Fons Skeltermar. Back to my train of thought. Bear this out here. John Dillon, P2. At the moment, certainly for race 1, he's going to be on the front row of the grid, whereas Manuel Agostino at the moment is going to be on the 4th row of the grid. Here is John Dillon, talk of the orange and white car as we speak.
She has an advantage of 27 points, so if she's surviving in the top 10 the first race, then I think it should be more or less safe, because John Dillon will, under the circumstances at the moment, not get the point for the fastest time. That's an advantage for her. 34 in total are possible if you have 2 times the pole position, 2 times the fastest lap, and 2 race victories. So I guess she can be more or less in a position where she not has to push too much to the limits. It's more his pressure on his shoulders.
There is John then, deciding that he's extracted as much as he can out of that qualifying session. And at the moment sits P2. I rather think von Skeltermar is feeling the same with 3.5 minutes remaining here. We're not seeing, with the weather conditions worsening, Ernst Kirchmeier has also parked his car in the pit lane, and there indeed he is. You know, he's pretty satisfied that his pole position is not going to be tested by anyone. As I say, we're seeing the conditions worsen. Oliver, no one's going to be doing any improvements here, are they?
No, I guess there's anyone out except Manuela at the moment. And von Skeltermar is shown an outlap, but we saw that he already exit the car. So in my opinion, it's just 1 car out, and we will not see any improvements in this session, in this qualifying. It's the only qualifying we have, and that's why they are congratulating each other already at the moment.
Yeah, you could see there that Jan Sandman, our Copicello Am driver, congratulating his Kessel Racing teammate von Skeltermar there. So there we have it then, the Copicello qualifying with 2.5 minutes still remaining. Actually, we're feeling that it's pretty much done and dusted. The only car out there on track is Fabrizio Fontana. You may recall Fabrizio Fontana, of course, a champion last year because he was driving in the 488s last year. Ray Acosta has parked his car as well. It's a P7 for Ray Acosta. And he drives for the collection, and Ferrari, beautiful looking livery across that 296 Challenge car, in my opinion.
And we have 2 of these. No, yeah, 2. One was 07 and the 307, because he's racing this weekend as well in the
North American series.
Yeah, and standing in the pit next to each other. And then when we did our walk in this morning, I said, yeah, it's interesting if you have the choice to take the car, whatever you want, it's the same, right or left.
right. Motohiko Isasaki. You will not find a more enthused Ferrari Challenge driver than Motohiko Isasaki, who is a truly lovely man. And in the 105 car.
Was he the one who was the reason for 3 red flags 2 years ago here? I think
possibly.
Yeah, because
your
under
memory is vastly superior to mine.
No, that's not. But it was incredible because he crashed twice the car out, and today in the more or less same conditions, he did a brilliant job in his world, because everything worked out. He's driving fast and has no issue so far. But yeah, and it was, for me, it was impressive. It was my first Finali Mondiali on site 2 years ago, that he got the new car after the first crash and got the second car after the second crash, and it was unbelievable. It's still unbelievable for me.
He is a great driver and a huge enthusiast for the Ferrari Challenge and the Ferrari brand, it has to be said. Motohiko Isasaki, truly lovely gentleman. Ernst Kirchmayr, John Dillon, von Skeltermar, Fabrizio Fontana, the top 4 ahead of Oscar Rinčević, Tibor Valent, Ray Acosta, Manuela Gostner, Michael Martin, Willem van der Vorm, Thomas Gostner, Motohiko Isasaki, the car that we're watching, and Corinna Gostner. No lap times from the likes of James Wyland and Christian Kinch. We so hope that they are able to join us in the racing. And there you can see the checkered flag is out in our and on our qualifying session. No one had an earthly chance, really, of improving because the weather conditions worsened during the course of that qualifying session. So for our Ferrari Challenge Copa drivers, qualifying is done and dusted. We will, of course, bring you the confirmation of the result, but it was on the left-hand side of the screen for you. So the best of them all, Ernst Kirchmayr. He was chased by John Dillon, but Ernst Kirchmayr with a 2:15.062 was the best lap, and that gives him pole position for race 1.
So under these circumstances, this rain, it was a great session with just 1 red flag, 2 yellow flag moments, and yeah, we can be more than excited what's going on this afternoon here in Mugello with this rain, and we are proud to have these drivers with these skills to survive and to bring the cars around the track. And it was a pleasure. Thank you very much, Dave, for the moment, and let's continue like this. Yeah.
We do have more qualifying to come, of course, because our Trofeo Pirelli AM cars have got to get out there. And, of course, here in Mugello, it is the final weekend of our North America series as well, so their final races. But here is confirmation of qualifying for Copa Ernst Kirchmayr, the quickest ahead of John Dillon and von Skeltermar. Then it was Fabrizio Fontana and Oscar Rinčević. Tibor Valent, Ray Acosta and Manu Gostner then, who finished P8. Then it was Michael Martin, Willem van der Vorm, Thomas Gostner, Motohiko Isasaki and Corinna Gostner, and no times, regrettably, from James Wyland and Christian Kinch. For the moment then, from a rain-soaked Mugello, qualifying for Copa is done and dusted. We still have more qualifying action to come. Welcome to Mugello. Welcome to the rain here in Mugello as well, because we do have significant rainfall, I have to say. But yeah, that's the way it is. It is our 8th round of our 2025 calendar for this year, having been to Monza, Misano, Hockenheim, Brno, Valencia, Barcelona, Spa, Francorchamps. Here we are in Mugello for the final rounds of the 2025 season. And, of course, the World Final race is to come on Sunday. It's the Ferrari Challenge. What a phenomenal season we have had. Some brilliant racing. And we're about to see some brilliant qualifying action, which is going to be really, really difficult conditions. And not only Oliver Fendel, my German broadcast colleague, who's here with me for our qualifying program today, we also have, dare I say this, when we mix our Pirelli and Pirelli Am drivers together, which we will, we've got some 28 cars out there on track, on a very, very wet track in conditions which are difficult. And we have this quite testing, very technical Mugello circuit of 14 turns, 5.245 kilometers, just under an hour from Florence and an hour and 10 from Bologna, situated here in Scarperia in Tuscany.
This is the case, and this is also the case that we have it under really wet conditions. We just stepped out for a moment, and the weather is not getting better during this coming session. So we can be really excited what the drivers will squeeze out of their cars. We can attend, and the 28 mentioned cars will be out there, and it will be a quite a difficult situation to bring out the 28 cars and have a free lap for setting your fastest time.
You're right, traffickers. So we go into the broadcast headquarters there. Chicho, our director, I can see waving there, and all the staff in there. Great job being done by everyone in our OB truck, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen in there, and we appreciate all that you do to bring us these wonderful pictures. So, Trofeo Pirelli and Trofeo Pirelli Am drivers out here. The Pirelli drivers, to make it easy for you to identify, will have red strips across the top of the windscreen. The Pirelli Am drivers have white strips across the top of the windscreen. They are classified independently and separately. And leading the Drivers' Championship points in Trofeo Pirelli is Felix Herziger, the driver that we're on board with right now. He has got 175 points over Yasin Ferrati, who's on 167 points. This, to me, looks like the Herbert Guys car.
See, that's correct. That's yeah.
He of course, is engineered by Harold Prochik.
Yeah, and he's experienced with ships, and
yeah.
So for him it's no problem, because he knows where the pedal is.
Nautical navigation might be useful this afternoon in these terrible conditions. So, as I was saying before, I was so potently interrupted by Oliver.
Sorry for that.
Don't be silly. Our Trofeo Pirelli Championship is Felix Herziger leading, Yasin Ferrati leading, Gilles Redmans. In Pirelli Am, it's the only championship that's been sorted. Hendrik Viol has won that from Michael Verhagen and Marco Zanassi.
In style this year.
In style this year. He did it really, really well, as we watched Nobuhiro Imada, or we did, going through. So that's the way it looks at the moment. I want to give a mention, if I may, please, because the Ferrari Challenge extends its tentacles, if you will, all around the world. We race not only here in Europe, but also in North America, and our North America friends are here this weekend to end their season. We race in Japan, we race in the UK, and we race in Australasia as well. And from next year, as was announced today, we'll be racing in the Middle East with a Ferrari Challenge Middle East season too.
Really, really looking forward to this.
Me too. And from our UK series, I am delighted to welcome into Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli Am our Trofeo Pirelli Championship winner, Gilbert Yates. Second year in a row, Gilbert Yates has taken the championship in the UK. And the man that's chased him to the championship all the way, Pranav Vangala, is also here this weekend as well, racing in Pirelli Am. So welcome, Gilbert, and welcome to Pranav, and
welcome in this rain.
Welcome to Felix Herziger and what he can see through that windscreen is
Really nothing.
honestly zero.
Yeah, I had a long chat before all the qualifying sessions started, and the most important thing he said is, except what's on the track beside you, just focus on you.
Yeah.
Just focus on one good lap and let the rest do their own things. Just focus on you, and then keep calm. And that's the spirit of a professional race driver.
Yeah, I know. And I would not take issue with anything you said there. But how in goodness name can you do nothing but focus and concentrate on yourself when actually it's a real devil of a job to see where you're going?
The answer on this is, that's why we are sitting here, not in the car.
Yeah. Do you know what irritates me most about you? Almost everything, because you're so right.
Sorry for that.
Well, Felix Herziger, as you can see, he's gone purple in Sector 1, which means he's gone quicker than anyone. I think now more than ever in this 30-minute qualifying session, and I hope you'll agree with me here, Oliver, is to put a banker in, to put a lap time in as early as you possibly can is probably going to pay dividends.
What we say in the Formula 3 and Formula 2, you have to nail in the first 2 laps. And then you are safe, and then you can react whatever you want. But if you really put this fast lap under these conditions, you are safe for the top 5 or top 10. And that's enough, because it can happen so much under these conditions, also in race, that everything can bring you in front of the field. The important thing is not to have damages, not to get in silly situations, and you see there's flashing lights already outside. Here it's much more light.
Look at that. I mean,
it makes no sense.
Now that surprises me. I thought Felix would complete that lap. He was on personal best for Sector 1 and Sector 2.
Yeah.
Do you think he's just come into the pit lane to buy himself some track space? Perhaps with some 28 cars out there on track, you know, try and find some... We've got a red flag. Who's that? That's someone who's gone around there. That could be...
It's Children-Mont, or? Oh, it's Children-Mont. I think it's a red and yellow car.
Yes, you may well be right. So red flag is out. Session is stopped.
And it was the right decision from Felix Herziger and his team to take him in. Oh, then you see, that's the point what I mean with silly situations.
And once you're, once you're on that, and that's going into turn 1, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once you're on that painted lines, you are but a passenger, aren't you, Oliver? There's nothing you can do to control that.
Really nothing. There is exactly the situation you are looking for. Yes.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with whom you think it is. It's the number 10 car of Gilbert Yates. The man that I was talking about, he is the Trofeo Pirelli UK champion. He has gone around. That is a very uncharacteristic error from Gilbert Yates.
Yeah, that's, but under this condition, it's no surprise that it happens to one, also to the experienced good ones.
It can catch anyone out.
Yeah,
as that has been just proven.
There's so much water on the track that it's just one big water hole, and you get in and you lose everything. And then there's beside the tarmac, the black tarmac, you have the colored lines, and then there's no chance. The only thing that you can try to avoid is a big contact in the barriers.
What that will do, if I can take any positive out of that, I'm really sorry to see that Gilbert has gone around. There's Yasin Ferrati. What it will do is it will mean that Gilbert will be further back in terms of qualifying than he would expect to be. They'll be able to repair the car for sure. He will be out and he will do some overtaking in the races. Yeah. My goodness. So, Gilbert is...
Now they got as well who is out and surprised as well. Danilo Del Favero on the 4th position at the moment. He will be surprised as well, but it will change, and here we see Felix
Herziger then, who is currently P1 in the Drivers' Championship. Now, the 175 points that he has going into this final race weekend. Of course, whoever gets pole position today will gain a point. So whilst we await what's going to happen here, here are some images to music. There is Felix Herziger, the Nico Reparto Corsa Ram driver. You were just making a point there as we were looking at, I mean, obviously we only see the images that we see. Can I just say, just for a laugh, there is Michael Verhagen's car, and the sponsor credit there to Lots of Hair Extensions, who have been very kind to me, and that's why now I have a full head of hair, you know.
Yeah, I see that. It suits you perfectly.
I need to say I am joking, but hello to Charlotte.
No, he's
hello.
Not joking. No,
hello
yes.
to Charlotte, Michael's partner and the proprietor of Lots of Hair Extensions.
So
lovely people.
Charlotte, you have just one task. You have to buy a hairdryer for Dave now when he is coming back.
Right, we were just pontificating about Gilbert Yates having gone around there, and you were making a fair point. Let's see what happens here. So, this is in replay.
Oh, he hit the barriers before.
He did hit the barriers. I reckon he was on the. I reckon he just dipped one wheel onto the grass because you see that just that grassed area.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much to our team in the truck there. We were interested in knowing how that happened, and yeah, just one wheel on the grass, and that's enough. You're a passenger, aren't you? I mean, Gilbert is an outstanding driver. That's why he is the Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli UK champion. As we look at the number 27 car of Rafael Duran. Rafael has had a dual campaign this year, racing not only in Europe but also in North America occasionally as well. And you can see Pranav Van Gala there, the very first car in this picture that you can see with HRO in, which is the dealer that Pranav Van Gala races for. Pranav, another UK driver. Behind him is former UK champion Andrew Morrow, driver of the number 4 car.
The HRO.
And what's really nice is that in the Ferrari Challenge, you get this interchange of drivers from the UK, from Europe, from Japan, from North America, from Australasia as well. And the number 90 car, of course, is driven by Vincenzo Scarpetta, who has had one race win so far this season and a number of podiums as well, and is a driver of some repute for Radici Automobili.
We have in mind 2 years ago the team who was winning the championship with Eliseo Donno.
Yes, another talented young driver, and look at the success he's having in motor racing right now, proving that actually the Ferrari Challenge being used as a springboard by many young drivers now to future racing success. So the Ferrari Challenge very much.
And compared, to be honest, compared to nice. Armin Arifpur.
Armin's a great guy.
One of my favorite drivers here. He's always on the last row, but he is the man of funny things. He's the one of the most entertaining ones. But back to the ladder of success in the Ferrari Challenge, compared to so many other, also not cheap, also expensive series. Here it's more or less shortcut, because if you are successful in the Pirelli, in the pro category, then you have the chance, like Eliseo or Tom Fleming, to step up to go in the GT World Challenge, where you're already racing against the total pros, the absolute pros. And there's in any other category I know this short period where you have the chance in more or less 3 years to getting from a young driver to the professional series.
And may I say, not only that, look at Thomas Neubauer, look at Niklas Nielsen. Those drivers, look at Alessio Rivera. Those drivers are Ferrari factory drivers that have come through the ranks. And the Ferrari Challenge has formed part of that, certainly for Thomas Neubauer and for Niklas Nielsen.
As a 20 Le Mans 24 hours champion.
Yeah, and I knew Niklas when he was in junior single seaters, you know, which reinforces just how old you and I are. We do.
Niklas is a young guy, that's why we are young as well.
You should be a politician, really, you should. You could improve a lot of things. We are waiting for an official restart time to be advised by race control as we look at the number 9 car of Danilo Del Favro. You know Danilo very well.
Yeah, it's a Hamburg guy, the typical Hamburg fan. But
what's
also
typical of a Hamburg guy?
Straight, honest, fair, reliable, and these are characters you not really find in the country so often. That's a region where you really, if he's saying what he says,
you're digging yourself a big hole here.
Yeah, what he's saying he means, and
okay.
This is something I like a lot, and he does it. And one more thing from what's typical for this region, and Danilo has it. He is not one who says, I want to have the golden big one and I'm able to do it. He says, I want to be successful, want to have fun, and I guess I'm around P10. And in the result, he's better than P10. And that's something I really like, that a person underrates himself.
I was hosting a sports award ceremony, not motorsport, a sports award ceremony just last weekend. And I was talking to, as we look at the Drivers' Championship there, Felix Herziger leading Yasin Ferrati by 8 points. And I was talking to various people there, and the thing is about so many sports, and motorsport is definitely included in this, is that there can only really be one winner.
Yeah.
But if it's not for the other 20, 10, 15 other competitors, you don't have a winner. Because you don't have a race. You don't have a competition. And not everyone can be number one. And sometimes, if you can measure those expectations of what you want to achieve, and as you say, when Danilo Del Favro says to himself, do you know what, I want to be in the top 10. And when he finishes in the top 6, then he has overachieved, and he's had fun, and he's had a great time. And what the Ferrari Challenge delivers for so many drivers is this sense of remarkable achievement up against some blooming good drivers, let me tell you.
Definitely that's the case. And to be realistic with the own performance, I like much more than someone who's pretending he is the one and only guy who can lead the championship. That's nonsense, because as you mentioned, there are so many drivers able to compete for the top 10 that you have to be grateful that you are in this top 10 category. That's definitely something you get with Danilo. 1 point, because we have the time, and we saw the car of Rafael Duran. In my opinion, he has 2 cars this weekend here, because 1 car in the morning was in gravel, and when we we started here with the first qualifying session. It was still in repair, and I cannot imagine that it is this car that is on the track again.
Hello, Mr. Magpie 123. We have to say that. Let me answer your question in what I hope is the accurate way. Rafael Duran racing in both Europe and North America. I would suggest that the second car he has here is the North American car.
Exactly this. I mean, I was not sure because you are.
I think.
No, but you are the pro who knows the North American much better than me, and also the Europeans.
Incidentally, hello to Rafael's father, who's been competing in the Ferrari Challenge as well. Alberto, a lovely, lovely man. I mean, they're a lovely family, lovely people.
Perfect. We've been for dinner at Barcelona, and we had so much fun. If you listen to them, it's always a pleasure to.
They are fantastic. Yeah. And that's the other appeal. And this is why so many young drivers come into the Ferrari Challenge and want to be in the Ferrari Challenge, because you know, you are mixing in and amongst some extraordinary people, truly lovely people. As we look at the car of James Owen, he's from Wales, you know. And James Owen, whose son is racing in karting and young superstar. James himself, of course, you will recall just last year was winner of Finali Mondiali. Not only that, won in the FIA Motorsport Games as well. Did James Owen? He's a great, great driver, and good to see James here now. Also here, you can see just behind the white and blue colours of James Owen in this shot that we can see, Nobuhiro Imada.
Yep.
Nobuhiro Imada races not only in Europe, sometimes in Japan, but also still races in single-seaters. And Nobuhiro is a heck of a good driver.
Didn't know that. Single-seaters. Oh, that's compared to this one
and
level up.
Nobuhiro is, you know, not a spring chicken. I don't want to cast aspersions here, but he's not a young driver, but he just so enjoys his motorsport and loves the Ferrari Challenge, and it's delightful for us that he's here. Still no restart advisory time from our race control, so I suspect that the Gilbert Yates car has been recovered by now, and that the track staff here are just checking out the integrity of the safety barriers, because that's what's absolutely critical for all of our competitors, is that it's as safe as it can be to go racing. When the session was stopped, it was Björn Grossman that was leading ahead of Nobuhiro Imada. Then it was Gilbert Yates, ironically, who'd gone third fastest as he'd just crossed that timing line. And then we just think one wheel on the grass was enough to spin that car around, spit it out. Danilo Del Favro, once again, overachieving, and was fourth fastest. So Björn Grossman was fastest, and not only fastest overall, fastest to the Pirelli drivers, fastest to the AM drivers was Nobuhiro Imada, ahead of Gilbert Yates, who was second fastest in the AMs, third fastest overall. The next fastest Pirelli driver was Gilles Renmans, P5 overall. And then Michael Verhagen, P4 in class, P6 overall. So
also one funny thing about Michael Verhagen, he is coached by
Larry,
the famous Tenforder.
Don't even say it. Larry Tenforder, the famous, is truly super young man and very, very talented.
Oh,
and you and I have spent quite some time with Larry Tenforder, and Larry is here this weekend.
Yeah.
And actually, when you look at some of the driver coaches that there are in the Ferrari Challenge, let's just mention a few of them here. Matt Griffin, top driver. Giacomo Altoe, Ferrari Challenge champion. Larry Tenforder, multi-champion.
Yeah.
We have
Harald Procik,
Harald Procik, who, can I tell you a little story? Harold Procik.
I think we have some time, yes.
Yes. Harold Procik, he coaches Herbert Geiss, who is one of our Ferrari Challenge.
And one of the famous cousins of a German, let me name him A, VIP, but maybe in reality C-Whip. But Robert Geiss, his cousin, and he is a TV star.
Oh.
In Germany, the whole
like you.
Not me, not that, but the whole Geiss family is so famous in German television. So that's that's interesting that he's racing here.
Well, let's go back to Harold
Yeah,
Prochik.
sorry for that.
No, don't be. I'm glad you told us the story. Harold Prochik has been racing for more years than I care to remember, because he's probably, what is Harold? 70 years old? No, he's not. No, he's
No, this is Ernst Kirchmeier.
Harold is not anything like that age, but he is one of these guys that is very enigmatic and very emotional when he raced. And I can remember him winning races, many, many races. I can also remember him being nerfed out of some races. And it was the memory of him being nerfed out of some races by some errant racing driver seeing just how angry Harold Prochik could be that had prevented me from ever speaking to him. Until I was very brave at the Spielberg circuit one day, where I just happened to be walking through the paddock, and there was Harold, and I thought, oh, do you know what, I'm going to have to go and speak to him. Just because I haven't ever spoken to him. And he was coaching, he wasn't driving. And I went and said, Harold, my name's Dave, and I've commentated on a lot of races that you've done, and And I said, this is the first time I've been to speak to you because I'm scared of you, friend. I said, you always look so, and he's one of the nicest guys, do you know what I mean? He is absolutely lovely, and so too is Herbert Guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely the same, yeah.
So there we are, that was Harold's story. So
yeah, that's,
but
that shows how you can misjudge people just by seeing what the profession on track is.
Completely. I mean, I can remember, next year's Ferrari Challenge calendar is awesome. We're off to Le Mans once again, supporting the Le Mans 24-hour race, which is where I met Matt Griffin for the first time. Matt was thrown into the commentary booth with me, because I'm sure he didn't want to, because he was competing in the Le Mans 24-hour race, as he's done on a number of occasions, and Matt is an ELMS winner, champion. And Matt and I just got on like a house on fire, and he was brilliant on the air. And Matt, of course, now is an official AF Corsa coach for many drivers, and he's just a super guy. We've talked about Charlie Hollings. We've talked about Max Blancardi and Andrea Gagliardini. Both of those drivers, of course, came from the Ferrari Challenge. We're being told now that the session is going to resume in 4 minutes, to be confirmed. 5 minutes to be confirmed. So we will see. There you can see that confirmation on the screen. Session will restart at 17:10. TBC means to be confirmed. So
Great.
Fingers crossed. Andrea and Max Blancardi, both Ferrari Challenge champions and super drivers. I played a trick on Max Blancardi. We were flying back from the States, and Max and I were in the same cabin on the plane.
Oh.
And the one of the air members of the air staff came along, and she could see that I was dressed in some Ferrari clothing, and she said, "Oh, what do you do?" And shown a great interest. And you and I, of course, very shy. We don't ever want to talk about what we do, but we did. And she said, "Oh, you're not a driver then?" I said, "No, I don't have the physique for a driver." She said, "Are there any famous drivers in this cabin?" I said, "Over there, probably seat 4 or 5 is a guy called Max Blancardi." I said, "He's a wonderful guy, wonderful." She said, "Oh, do you think I could go?" I said, "Go and say hello, tell him I said so." Max was having a sleep. and he just looked up when I'd sent this lady over, and she was pleased to meet, and Max was as lovely as he always is, and he just looked up from his seat and looked over at me, and I just put my thumbs up,
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's the stories you really experience just in motorsport in this way, because
Yes.
we are all, in some way, we are all traveling together around the world, and then you have so funny moments, and that's one of
I
these.
can remember flying out of Milan Malpensa to go to the Middle East for a Ferrari event, and honestly, you could have chartered the plane as a Ferrari plane. Everybody in the terminal.
Then would it be a Worcestershire?
Everybody in the terminal was dressed in red. It was like a Ferrari festival in the airport terminal building.
I sometimes have it when we go to the F1 events, and you go on Tuesday or in the morning of Wednesday when the...
Led by Björn Grossman ahead of Nobuhiro Amada. And then it was Gilbert Yates, and ironically it was Gilbert Yates who is third fastest, but second fastest in his class, Pirelli Am, that caused the red flag, sadly. just catching a wheel on the grass and that pirouetting the car around. We're still, the TBC has been removed from the session, will restart at 17:10, so that means it will restart at 17:10, which is just under 2.5 minutes, or 1.5 minutes away from now, because we are at 17:08 local time. Session going to restart, and then 24.5 minutes of qualifying still to come. I remind you, we have Trofeo Pirelli drivers and Trofeo Pirelli AM drivers out together. The Pirelli drivers with the red strip across the top of the windscreen, the Pirelli AM drivers with the white strip across the top of the windscreen. And as the session was stopped, there were 22 drivers that had still not set a time, which is perhaps indicative of why it's pretty important to set a time, bank a time fairly early on in the session. You can see the drivers champing at the bit to get out there, and to the left-hand side you can see the Vincenzo Scarpetta car that we walk past now. Here is Henri Acide. So Henri Acide then, the number 67 car. And ahead of him is the car of Felix Herziger, driving number 30, Felix Herziger. And new into the series for this weekend, the number 87 car, which looks identical to Felix Herziger, is Fabrizio Crestani. So welcome, Fabrizio, who spends a lot of his time, of course, now driver coaching, but is in racing this weekend for the same team. Fabrizio Crestani will be racing for Ineco Reporter Casa Ram. As we get the green flag, let's go back to qualifying then. 24 minutes remain, and there will be 27 cars out there to set the best and fastest lap time that they can. And going out straight away and being at the head of the queue was Felix Herziger. And we ride on board with Yasin Ferrari, who's P2 in the Drivers' Championship.
Just 8 points. I was just looking exactly at this. And that's the crucial point. And that's something that makes it spicy this weekend, because the just mentioned new driver is coming in this championship to spice it up a bit, because yeah, he maybe has to take some role to play, because he is so experienced. He is a good, brilliant,
great driver, isn't he?
Brilliant driver, to be on side to Felix Herziger in some way to protect him.
Well, let's see if that plays out as we ride on board here of Yasin Ferrari. Now, Yasin, of course, has got the benefit and the experience of one of the most notorious names in motor racing, and I mean notorious for the right reasons. Emil Frey Racing, of course, responsible for huge racing success over many years. The Swiss-based team Emil Frey Racing. Here is Felix Herziger then, driver of car number 30. Now, we ride on board with Felix Herziger, the Ineco Reparto Corsa Ram driver. I spoke to him just at lunchtime, and I said, "How are you feeling going into this weekend, Felix?" And he said, "You know what, Dave? I'm confident in my own ability, you know, but we've just got to deliver out there on track. It's never easy." Oh, and there you can see.
What's not easy? Yeah,
you're on a knife edge. And he was on that knife edge there, and he just went over the limit, and that was enough to unsettle the car. And that, I'm afraid to say, will have...
But saving the car he did was brilliant.
But it's cost him this lap.
Yeah, sure.
It was a warm-up lap, though, wasn't it? It was an installation lap, so it doesn't matter. And actually, he might argue that, do you know what? I'm glad that I can test the limits of adhesion on an installation lap and not a real hot lap.
I don't think he argues. He takes it as we had before. He takes it while he's focused, and he knows I have to learn. And here you see again.
Keep your foot in, Felix. Keep your foot in and get out onto that grass.
Difficult. No.
Well done.
Woo.
Well done, Felix.
Crucial for this qualifying. Otherwise, it will really be difficult. If he not qualifies top 10, then it's getting difficult to get the championship.
Do you know what I think did for Felix there? the painted lines. Once you're on the paint, it's completely different to being on the tarmac. I am led to believe, as a racing driver, you know, particularly in the wet, if you can keep it on the tarmac, you're okay with the Pirelli wet weather tyres, which work brilliantly. But the moment you go offline and you're onto the painted lines, the adhesion level is altogether different.
And something is getting here also to know that the painted lines and the amount of water now coming down is bringing some water on the track in like a little river.
Okay, rivulets, yes.
Yeah, and if you get in this little water or mass of water, then you get in on the line that it's colored or painted, and then you have two problems because the car loses immediately the balance. And here you see with Ferrari as well.
Yassin held on to that, I think. This is Andrew Morrow, the Charleshurst driver. Now, Andrew Morrow, former Ferrari Challenge champion in the UK. Last couple of seasons he's been racing here in Europe, and his Sector 1 and his Sector 2 are purple, are quicker than anyone. Now, that's relative to his group, his category, and that's Pirelli Am, of course, for Andrew Morrow. A great, great driver, and he, at the moment, then, is showing us the way around this Mugello circuit for the Pirelli Am drivers. He comes into shot right now and brakes for the final turn. And this sequence of the Puccina turn, I have to say, you can use as something of a slingshot and try and get a great elevation and speed.
And you see nothing.
And he now crosses the timing line. Not only is he quickest in class, he's quicker than anybody else with a 2:18.645. Fair play to Andrew Morrow, then driver of the Charleshurst and the RPM PRM car that you can see, car number 4. Björn Grossman relegated to second fastest. Henri Acid is third fastest. Then is Vincenzo Scarpetta. And then the big Dylan Medler.
Yeah, struggling there. And Björn Grossman, that's the guess of former champion Axel Sarting. He wrote that's so much aquaplaning,
yes,
that it's difficult. And he says that the driver started too early to push.
Okay.
He says, in his opinion, it's one lap too early, and he bet on Björn Grossman because of, and that's interesting, his experience at the Nordschleife with these conditions.
Ah, well, in fairness, and that was a big, big save from Björn. I mean, Axel knows what he's talking about.
Exactly.
I have to say, Axel and I raced together. I don't know if you know this.
No.
Well, actually, we didn't, as Yassin Ferrati just avoids making contact with Fabrizio Crestani.
That's exactly the point. What did I say?
Axel and, to be fair, Axel and I were not racing together. I was out doing a track run. Axel was on a scooter, and he overtook me. Kelson
yeah, but
Breeze.
it was his only chance.
Honestly, he is such an entertainer, Axel Sardigan. Really miss you, friend. Glad you're watching. So, interesting there as Yassin Ferrati, who at the moment is being denied where he wants to be in terms of lap time.
And now we have when we were talking about psychological games in the Shell AM, here we have the next level of playing games to each other, against each other. Yeah, it will be interesting. I call it spicy.
Yeah. Here is Yassin Ferrati then. We just saw a picture of the rain-soaked pit wall of Andrew Morrow and Johnny Kane, who'd got his anorak and hood up and everything.
Do you see how Cristiani slows down? It's funny to see from outside, but as a race driver, you get pulse 200 and something.
Right, now Yassin Ferrati needs to get by this car ahead of him. Fabrizio Crestani then.
Welcome to racing. Yeah, it's great. Whoa! Whoa! First contact! What a situation.
That, I have to say, was almost, I'm tempted to say almost inevitable.
Yeah.
Almost inevitable. So, Yassin Ferrati then dive to the inside of Fabrizio Crestani. Oh, that, I'm sorry to say, I think will be looked at by race control.
Definitely it needs to be.
But what that has done, let's look at the consequences of that. Yassin Ferrati now is not going to be able to set a lap time for either race 1 or race 2.
Yeah.
Red flag. And I think there might just be a little bit of a discussion here between Yassin Ferrati and...
will be a long discussion, I guess.
Don't think they're going to be on each other's Christmas card list.
Not anymore. Before maybe, but not now. What I'm thinking about is when we restart, let's check who's able and who's racing. It's Hanno Laskowski and Emil Frey. If there is maybe the game is going on.
Right. Björn Grossman and Andrew Morrow were the top 2 drivers as the session got stopped. The session has been suspended. Our friends in the OB truck, I'm sure. And here is the replay. I'm sorry to say that was absolutely inevitable. And we can see it from on board here now.
To be honest, I do not understand what both are doing. I have an opinion about, but I keep it in me.
Yeah, I think you're right to do that, and I think I'm trying to do the same here. But, yeah. Well,
things we don't want to have on the racetrack.
And there is Yassin Ferrati, who I think has made his feelings known. And I think there will be some discussions that will on-go. Hopefully, our team in the OB truck have got some images to show us to music, because I think we might be a couple of moments before we go back to qualifying again, because we've got 2 cars that have got to be recovered. And yeah, as that unfolded, we have Björn Grossman and Andrew Morrow. They were the top 2. One a Pirelli driver and one a Pirelli AM driver. Felix Herziger, second fastest in class, third fastest overall. There is Fabrizio Crestani. The Ineco Reparto Corsa Ram driver racing in the Ferrari Challenge this weekend. And there you can see the rain-soaked Mugello Circuit. This is the Ferrari Challenge. We are live from Mugello with qualifying for Trofeo Pirelli and Trofeo Pirelli AM. And we've still got a qualifying session for our North America races to come as well. But at the moment, the session has been suspended, and we await confirmation of when the session will restart again. But yeah, there we have it. Yassin Ferrati, Fabrizio Crestani out of the race. Out of the qualifying session, and critically for Yassin Ferrati, who's P2 in the Drivers' Championship, just 8 points behind Felix Herziger. He is not going to be able to set, I don't think, Oliver, I don't think he's going to be able to set a lap time.
No.
Let's have some clips to music now. So we take a look at some of the images here as we await the recovery of the Yassin Ferrari and Fabrizio Crestani cars. There is Yassin Ferrari. Hey, look at this, sprinting down the track here.
Grabbing a new car? No. But that's so annoying for him. That's a really difficult situation for a young driver like him.
I agree.
And that's everything I want to say about this at the moment.
Yeah, let's leave it there. Let's leave it there. Right. There you can see Pranav Vangala, driver of car number 18. Pranav Vangala, P2 in the Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli Championship in the UK. Super driver, super talented in that car. Done a very, very good job this season and chasing Gilbert Yates to the championship. Yeah, Pranav Vangala, who had a race win, but up against the might of Gilbert Yates, he unfortunately was playing second fiddle, which is an expression we have in the UK. You know, second fiddle. It means second violin.
Hi. Fiddle. We have this noun as well in Germany.
Okay.
Noun.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, what learned? Lothar Matthäus would say. Again, what learned?
Okay. Okay. So, Björn Grossman. Now he's currently leading this qualifying session. And the thing is, session will restart at 17:27, so just 30 seconds away. Just want to say very quickly, Björn Grossman, Oliver, has won lots of things, including Ferrari Challenge. What he's never won is the Finali Mondiali race.
Yeah, now it's time for him. The conditions speak for his ability and for his skills. If it is that wet as it is at the moment, then he has the best opportunity to win.
He has certainly got great skill, indeed.
His experience from the Nordschleife, the famous Nordschleife we all know. And then we are back with Emil Frey when we're talking about Nordschleife with Max Verstappen, the famous race some weeks ago there. But it's not only the experience. Outstanding Max is the one thing, but drivers like Björn Grossman, yeah, they know it and they know the conditions and they can transfer it and adjust immediately to tracks like this.
Here is Felix Herziger then, who's leading the Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli Championship, leading in the Pirelli AM Championship. We should make note of it, even though it's academic. It's Hendrik Viol. And the reason I say it's academic is because Hendrik Viol had banked enough championship points to take the championship success at Spa-Francorchamps. Now, the incident involving cars number 1 and 87 in turn 6 is going to be investigated after the session. So that basically means that race control are going to look at that quite rightly, and then they will make their decisions. Let's ride on board right now with 15 minutes remaining in this qualifying session with Felix Herziger. So now climbing uphill, right-hander. Get on the gas as much as you can because you continue climbing uphill, but he engages the next gear earlier than he would do if it was dry. This is Henri Acide making his way down the pit lane, but here comes Felix Herziger then, who has, I mean, his driving this year, he went through a phase of taking 5 wins in a row. He then had a break with a P4 and a P2 before another 3 wins. I mean, his driving has been exceptional this year. And there is no doubt about it, the competition has come from Yassin Ferrari, and there have been occasions where Yassin Ferrari, who started the season with a brace of second, and from a pace point of view, a brace of seconds, from a pace point of view, he could never really quite seem to take it to Felix. And then all of a sudden they found the pace. The Emil Frey team found almost the magic button that needed pressing in their 296 Challenge car. And once pressed, all of a sudden, Felix was under pressure once again.
And the next one, Henri
Acide.
The Frenchman, not his season this year, after being so dominant last year. I think he underestimated the competition. Won level up, but
the other thing to mention is, as Henri told me, he says, I'm 2, if not 3 times the age of most of the drivers in Ferrari Challenge Trophy at Pirelli.
but it was in the past not the reason that hides him away from. I think the level, the racing level, the quality is so much more intensive this year, and he underestimates it a bit. If he will race next year in the Pirelli, I think he will be much more prepared compared with this year.
He races with the H2, very, very dominant on the side of his car. So dominant, in fact, it looks like 112, and I've often called him wrong, thinking it was a different number. H2, of course, for Henri Acid, 2 H's. Makes sense now, doesn't it? Yeah. All comes together when I tell you the reasons why. 12.5 minutes remaining. We run the telemetry on the Felix Herziger car, 4th gear now. Once again, climbing uphill. This is the part of the track we were at last time around.
The rain is still heavy.
Yes, it is.
And here you see accelerating car is a bit on the limit, also struggling by accelerating, also by braking, not in balance, I would say.
So let's give you an update on where we're at. It's Björn Grossman and Felix Herziger, the top 2 in Pirelli. They're ahead of Vincenzo Scarpetta, Dylan Medler, Luigi Coluccio, then Henri Acid. For the AM drivers, it's Andrew Morrow ahead of David Gosner. Then it's Michael Verhagen and Hanno Laskowski. Drivers still to set a lap time include Gianmarco Marzioletti and Martin Havas. So on board with Felix Herziger, hard at work inside the 296 Challenge car that he's driving, as you can see. Sector 2 was a personal best, but Sector 1 was not where he would like it to be. Accelerates now on the start-finish straight. Up the first climb, over the start-finish line, then climb again, heading towards turn number 1.
And we have to keep an eye on, not anymore, but Michael Verhagen was setting a purple sector. Now it's
not a purple sector, through Sector 2.
It's a white one.
But Michael Verhagen, another driver that has really showed so much skill this year and has been really, really entertaining to talk about. Driver of the number 33 car. Remarkably, and I say remarkably, he's only had 3 wins. He's had some other podiums as well, but he actually seems to have deserved much more than that, if I'm honest with you. But here is Michael Verhagen then about to close out another lap, and he is crossing the timing line.
Red
We have
flag.
another red flag, and the reason for that is...
Turn 1.
Is that Raphael? Who is that that's gone off?
Who was crashing into the barrier on the right side, the right-hand side.
Spat them into the
Ooh.
Raphael Duran.
And again, 1 car out, and it's the 2nd car from him on this day.
That's going to be quite some clear-up operation, because half of the front of the car is missing. So I think you're right. He's caught the inside barrier. That spat him across the track, hasn't it?
And then just crossing the street happily, and it's good that no other car was at that time when he flew.
Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, you may recall at Spa-Francorchamps last time around, we had a situation where Alexei Komarov at the bus stop chicane actually had to thread his car through another couple. Raphael is out of the car and is perfectly all right.
That's the most important
thing.
thing.
Of course it is. The integral safety of the 296 Challenge car is utterly uncompromised. It is superb. So
there's absolutely no question. It's not only here the 296 car in the challenge. It's also the GT3 version. That's a proper race car, and it's really safe. And you see it under conditions like this, where you, where it happens that you crash into the barriers, and happily, and it's good that the cars are that safe.
So we have another suspension of qualifying action here at Mugello. If you are just joining us, hello, good afternoon, welcome to Mugello. This is Ferrari Challenge. We look at the car of Nobuhiro Imada. The Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli and Pirelli Am qualifying, and we're qualifying on a Wednesday because we have so much race action to come on Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. That's why our competitive week has started so early. The weather conditions, honestly, have been less than favourable, and that is why we are seeing, as I say, race action, or rather qualifying action right now. We look at the Jill Redmond's car, who's currently 7th fastest for Francorchamps Motors Brussels. And to the right-hand side of your screen, you can see the number 30 car of Felix Herziger, our Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli Drivers' Championship leader. Now, there is our Pirelli Am Championship winner, Hendrik Viol, who's actually got out of the car. The number 92 car, driven by Hendrik Viol to fine effect, is currently 8th fastest.
I think he's already finished for
He's
today.
had enough, hasn't he?
Yeah, the belts are bringing order, and I don't think that he will rejoin the qualifying. And the question is, if you out and listen to us already waiting for the next qualifying with the North America, you see we are still here with Pirelli, and the point is it's getting dark.
So there is Felix Herziger, the Ineco Repato Corsa Ram driver, who, as I say, is championship leader and is at the moment P2 in Pirelli in qualifying. So there are times when, if you're quick on the faders and you manage to hit the on-off button, as I just did, just in time. Otherwise, I think I would have blown every. I think I would have blown if I
then
sneezed.
Everyone outside is safe. Otherwise, you need a new ear.
Sorry. Whew, that was close.
Oh, now you see what we have from the morning until the evening here. Since Monday lunchtime. That's I arrived here with sun, and from this moment on, from being here at Monday at 3:30, it's getting worse and worse. Sorry for that. It's not me. I told you to bring the sun from Great Britain back here.
Sorry, mate.
But it was too heavy for your luggage.
When the session was stopped, we'd got 10.5 minutes remaining. Just 10.5 minutes remaining. Vincenzo Scarpetta is driver of the number 90 car, who has been a race winner this year. If memory serves me, it was the second race in Buno. There is Dylan Medler from Ferrari of Miami and the Collection. Dylan Medler, driver of the number 15 car. Pranav Fankala, driver of the number 18 car. As we take a look down the pit lane, there you can see to the left-hand side of your screen is Björn Grossman. Then it's Gianmarco Mazzioletti parked up behind. Then the number 45 car driven by Luigi Coluccio. Behind Luigi Coluccio, I think that's Max Mugelli. Indeed it is, driver of the number 3 car. So we await information from race control. Has the rain subsided a bit? I think it probably has.
Yeah, I look behind us and it looks like a bit. Let me go out.
We are just seeing information on our screen that the session is going to restart at 17:42 local time. That is in around about 45 seconds from now. And there is confirmation on screen for you. 17:42, the session will restart live from Mugello of our Pirelli and Pirelli Am qualifying. We'll have 10.5 minutes remaining, and it's going to be an Oliver Fendel, who is my German broadcast colleague, and I'm delighted that he's with me here on the air today, because what I want to say is this means that from a qualifying point of view, this is going to become the proverbial dash for cash, because it's got to be done in 10.5 minutes, and you're going to have 26 cars potentially out there, all trying to fight for the same centimetre of tarmac in very challenging conditions weather-wise, but not only that, visibility now because it's getting darker, Oliver.
Yeah, it's getting darker. It's evening also in the Tuscany. I tried to get an impression of the rain. When I was outside just 2 minutes ago, it was just drizzling, some fizzy rain outside, and now we're starting the session. It's starting to get heavier again, and then it's the mix dark. Here you see that it's getting darker. Yeah, there is also the camera, but it is already dark outside. Not only because of the rain, it's getting night. We are here end of October, so it's normal, and that makes it much more complicated as well for the drivers inside the car.
Just bear in mind, Oliver, as we're watching the Pirelli and Pirelli Am qualifying session, that on our timetable after this session, we've got another huge qualifying session, which is for our North American drivers who finished their series for 2025 here in Mugello. But of course, you made the valid point that of all of the drivers, they have less experience in Mugello than anybody else, presumably.
That's remarkable. That's a point we have definitely to discuss, or not we, the race control has to discuss, that it is a fair... Oh, the first one is already getting out. Bring the car back to the pit lane. It is not easy, and if everything would have been normal, we all have already quit the job for today half an hour ago, but
it's not normal.
No, and it was not to expect that it is normal. In my opinion, it was not normal that we had two qualifying sessions more or less without interruption. That speaks for the driving.
Felix Herziger we're on board with right now, rounding the final turn and heading towards the start-finish straight, which contains two uphill sections.
And then you see that the water is standing on the track.
So through the speed cam they go. Felix Herziger, the Ineco Reparto Corsa Ram driver Felix Herziger, P1 in the Drivers' Championship for Pirelli. Andrew Morrow is fastest for our Pirelli Am drivers at the moment. The Pirelli Am Championship has already been won by Hendrik Viol from the Scuderia Prague team, who has decided to park the car in the pit lane and is not going to risk the car in these conditions.
But he was climbing in when I saw, but I don't know if he really wants to go out.
You're right, because our timing screen indicates an O at the side of his car number 92, which is 15th at the moment. That would indicate that he has come out. You're absolutely right. Well picked up. Now the irony is that the visibility inside the car is superior on this part of the track than it is outside the car.
And it definitely helps if you don't have a car in front of you
with no spray.
And therefore you need a gap of 200 meters, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you can calculate. It's an easy calculation. Again. On the limit, Felix Herziger. Then you can calculate that 26 or 25 cars are too much for the length of one lap.
Andrew Morrow, sector 1, quicker than anyone. Sector 2 was not so good, but he's still about 2 seconds up on anybody else. So Andrew Morrow doing a good job here. Felix Herziger set a quicker than anyone through sector 2. So a lot going on here still in this qualifying session for our Pirelli and Pirelli Am drivers. I remind you, the Pirelli drivers with the red strip across the top of the windscreen, the Pirelli Am drivers with the white strip across the top of the windscreen.
And there's the part of the track where the water is standing. It's exactly at the entrance to the pit lane, sorry. And it makes it dangerous. If you are braking to go in, you have no chance. Otherwise, if you go with top speed and you are accelerating to top speed at this moment, the aquaplaning will definitely be felt. And
Andrew Morrow has gone quickest of anyone by 3.5 tenths. Well done, Andrew. The Charles Hurst driver for Pirelli Am that we're watching has gone quicker than anyone in this number 4 car. A 2:15.748 in really, really difficult conditions. Well done, Andrew. He is better than Felix Herziger, Björn Grossman and David Gostner. On board with Felix Herziger once again, and can't help but feeling that he's maybe just not finding the best out of the track conditions and the car at the moment, as Armin Arifpour there in the number 88 car. Now that's how the visibility is impacted and can be impacted. My goodness.
there you see that is,
4.5 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. There is Hendrik Viol. You were right. Hendrik Viol, he was out of the car, wasn't he? Perhaps he just needed a comfort break.
maybe, and I think he wants to be sure that he will not be falling too far away from the top 10. And at the moment he is 9th.
But fourth in class.
Yeah, but in total he has 8 cars while starting in front of him.
You're right, because the grid is mixed up, isn't it? It's mixed the Pirelli and Pirelli. So, in fact, the order of qualifying actually sets the grid, doesn't it? It's not, you don't re-grid in terms of category.
So, and if you are too much into the midfield, it's under these conditions very, very risky that you are involved by the start procedure in some crashes. And I think that is something he took in account after the session again restarted. There you see how much water is on the track.
And there you can really see just how intensive those lights are when they're in flash mode.
And I like it. I'm a total fan of the xenon lights and much more the today's used LED diodes. It helps you from the visibility to recognize early the car behind or car coming on the other side of the street. It is normal street traffic, but it helps you as well to have a good view out of the car, because there is a lot of light that is going everywhere in front of you compared to lights 10, 15 years ago.
Here's Hendrik Viol then, heading towards the timing line, and it's a job to tell when the cars cross the timing line, isn't it? But
it looks like a fireball. And we have Danilo.
Danilo Del Favro, who I think may have lost the back end of the car.
Yeah, not only did...
Woo! Does that not prove just what a great job a gravel trap does in terms of slowing the car?
That will be the next red flag.
So, I thought Danilo had got the car out of it, to be honest.
They will stop the session and the session will not restart, and it's the right decision.
I agree. So, because with just 2 minutes left, no one can come out and post a fastest lap.
And
it's
why?
Impossible.
Under these conditions, you need 5 minutes to set a new time, and makes no sense. If he gets out of this situation, takes 5 to 7 minutes. One more break of 10 minutes. We do not have the time. Also looking to the North America, and you see the lights are on in Mugello already on the tower, and then you know how dark it gets.
Yeah. I know nothing, obviously.
Hello, welcome to my club.
I have a feeling that race control will be taking a look at this because, you know, the conditions are not improving.
Mr. Meteo. The weather forecast, Mr. Weather forecast.
Mr. Meteo, yeah. The sun is going to shine? No.
No, but I try to support you, and you are totally right.
The weather is not improving, is it?
Earliest at 1940, the rain will stop. 1940 means
2 hours away.
we need some lights in our hands.
Yeah. Okay, so Charles Hurst driver Andrew Morrow from PRM RPM has put it on pole position out of everybody. Now, this doesn't happen that often, that a Pirelli AM driver has gone quicker than a Pirelli driver. Björn Grossman, the quickest of the Pirelli drivers, ahead of Felix Herziger and Luigi Coluccio. But Andrew Morrow, the quickest of the AM drivers, ahead of Hanno Laskowski and David Gosner. Just interesting, given what happened earlier on in the session, as to who was second fastest in the AM drivers. Hanno Laskowski. Here we can see the Octane 126 driver, Björn Grossman, who's done a good job. I remind you that about the only title that Björn Grossman hasn't won is that of the Finali Mondiali. I'm sure that's where his focus and attention will be come Sunday. Well done to Björn Grossman, and well done to Andrew Morrow. There we have it then, a confirmation of the result. Andrew Morrow taking the overall pole position, and pole position within class ahead of Björn Grossman, Felix Herziger, Luigi Coluccio. Then it was Hanno Laskowski, David Gosner, Gilles Renmans, Hendrik Viol, Vincenzo Scarpetta and Marco Zanassi. First 5 rows of the grid ahead of Danilo Del Favaro, Dylan Medler. Well done Dylan, Henri Acid, Michael Verhagen, Nobuhiro Imada, Prana Fangala, Max Mugelli, Rafael Duran and Herbert Guys. Then it was James Owen, Gilbert Yates, Gianmarco Marzioletti, David Akabadzi, Otto Blank, Yasin Ferrati, Armin Arifpour, Martin Havas and Fabrizio Crestani. Neither of those two drivers classified. From our Trofeo Pirelli and Pirelli AM Quali, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye for now.